Welcome everyone to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast for March 17th through the 19th of 2017. So this weekend we are shifting into a few different signs with the moon. We're going to have the moon in Libra on Friday, maybe coming into this week feeling a bit like wanting some balance in our life. And that could be emphasizing relationships as well, maybe wanting a bit of harmony and cooperation in those relationships. Then as we get into Saturday and Sunday, into the deeper dimensions of things, the moon will be shifting into Scorpio and then Ophiuchus on Sunday. So wanting a bit of depth, openness with Scorpio, again, really getting into the raw truth of life as we do once a month with the moon. And then on Sunday with Ophiuchus, maybe doing some healing and some transformation with that. So this weekend, we do have the sun squaring up to Saturn, a very important aspect, which can make us feel a bit limited or challenged. Maybe there's something from the last weekend, because last weekend we had the full moon square Saturn, that maybe there was something we knew was going to take time, or there was a delay or something like that. So that could be resurfacing, or something having to do with that could be going on this weekend. So it's always good to get on the side of Saturn, which I'll talk about, having discipline, patience, and responsibility. But we also do have Mercury conjoining up to Venus, which does emphasize a bit of beauty, or wanting to see the beautiful things in life, or seeing the beautiful things. Also very good for communication in relationships, and a few other things which we'll look at in more detail when we return. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, the moon will be in Libra. Again, kind of like Thursday, where we may be feeling like we want some balance in our life, some harmony, and very good for working with relationships in a sense of cooperation, equality, really that give and take sort of energy, which can be very beneficial with Libra. So with the moon, we're feeling that, we're wanting that, and I think that can be a great expression of the day. So on Friday, that's when we start to feel the sun square Saturn, which will take us into Saturday. So this is that restricted feeling. There can be maybe some limitations externally. Again, if you've been experiencing something like that this week, or particularly from last weekend. But internally, at the very least, collectively, there can be this feeling of blockage or restriction. The sun, the part of ourself that wants to express ourselves, which has been in Pisces, which has been very important for us to let go and detach and surrender, and really listen to our intuition for our guidance. That aspect of ourselves, that outward focus, our self-expression, our passion, might be feeling a bit blocked or restricted here today for whatever reason. So the best way of working with this is to, again, get on the side of Saturn, which is about limiting ourselves, limiting our own self-expression. In other words, saying long-term enjoyments, long-term gains versus short-term ones. That's the kind of discipline that Saturn helps us build. There can be sometimes some fear with this. Saturn can invoke that, especially with the sun in Pisces. Again, uncertainty or something like that could be the case. So I do recommend going within for that intuition, doing the best you can to surrender and let go, and let that divine process unfold. Because that's essentially what Pisces has been about, is surrendering everything outside of our control and seeing where things take us. All right. Very good for spiritual activities, though, as it has been, listening to our dreams and anything else that is about that internal reflection. So Friday going into Saturday, very good for that patience, taking a step back, and even challenging ourselves. If you do feel like there's something that you do want to work on, or that will take some time or will take some effort, it might be a good couple days to challenge yourself to do that. In fact, the moon is going to be very well aspected this weekend. As you can see, all these blue small X's, which is the lunar aspects, all weekend long. We have a lot of easy ones, with the exception of the moon squaring up to Neptune on Saturday, but that's just one out of many very easy ones. So anyways, as we go into Saturday, the moon will be coming out of Libra and shifting into the deeper side of things. All right, so this is going to be deeper, particularly Saturday and Sunday. So on Saturday, maybe getting into the open and vulnerable side of life. This is where our emotions, the moon, gets exposed in Scorpio. Now, of course, the moon's debilitated here. It's not the most comfortable placement for the moon, but the more willing we are to open up with ourself, with life, and even with those relationships, I think there can be great depth, great awareness about connecting to what matters most in life, and intimacy with ourselves, life, and our relationships. So getting deeper is the name of the game. The more willing we are to do that, I think the more we'll see what always is a very positive effect from these transits. So on Saturday, easing up probably in terms of that restriction, which could be nice, but still quite an orb. I think mostly we'll start to feel the restriction lifting on Sunday. But what's nice about Saturday is Mercury does conjoin up to Venus retrograde. So it's a nice combination here where our mind is seeing the things we value in life, which is Venus, right? We could be seeing, wanting to enjoy some of the things we enjoy in life, and we could literally be doing that. Maybe enjoying connecting to the people that we value in life, our close relationships, or maybe even just surface relationships as well. Maybe wanting to share some ideas, do some communication, some of that mental stimulation. So very good there for the mind in harmony with the values and relationships. And so with that, there can also be some perhaps new information. You know, Venus is retrograde, so there's a lot we're reconsidering and relearning about relationships at the moment and about what we value. And this conjunction can certainly start something new about some new perspective about those relationships and values. All right, so also good for learning because, again, Mercury loves to learn, Venus loves to enjoy things, so that combination could be great for reading, writing, communication, and anything else that does open up our minds to new things. All right, so that's Saturday, very deep, though, with that Scorpio energy, but I think, using that beauty, seeing the beauty of values, enjoying a bit of that connection can be great on that day. And like I said, a minor aspect with the moon square Neptune in the evening on Saturday, maybe a bit hard to relax, hard to let go, to take it easy, but anything you can challenge yourself with, like meditation, anything that can help you relax, things like that can be a good way of challenging yourself with that. But yeah, moon's in very good aspect all weekend long. So as we get into Sunday, that's the Ophiuchus energy. Not a whole lot of aspects, I would say. Definitely the easing up from that Sun square Saturn I was talking about, and maybe some new information from Saturday being integrated on Sunday. And Ophiuchus is all about healing. So on Sunday, if there are any wounds that do come up, it's very good to do that acceptance, to do that healing, and we could find that very transformative. All right, and that's going to take us into next week on on Monday, starting the week in Sagittarius, where from Sunday, doing that transformation, doing that healing can certainly leave us feeling quite expansive and open-minded going into next week. All right, so that's the weekend in a nutshell. I would say, to sum it up, Friday, certainly balance, harmony, cooperation, wanting that in our life, even though there is a bit of restriction. I think, finding balance will be key. Working with the restriction can simply be knowing that things take time and maybe challenging ourselves with however we can implement responsibility and patience. As we get into Saturday, the moon does go into Scorpio, which is very deep, very much about connecting to the more intimate relationship with life. And through that, maybe seeing a bit of beauty, maybe understanding something new about what we value, maybe about what we truly value, maybe even communicating that, expressing that with Mercury. And then as we get into Sunday, certainly a day of healing, which again can leave us transformatively healed and rejuvenated going into Monday. All right, so hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Thank you again for all of your support, and I will see you all on Monday. Take care.